This Vice News situation is so disappointing and disgusting. If you happen to be paying attention to Vice News' YouTube channel back in June, you may have caught a 9-minute documentary video they put out about Mohammed Bonesaw. It was titled Inside Saudi Crown Prince's Ruthless Quest for Power. But then, 4 days later, it magically disappeared, with it being set to private after being viewed more than 750,000 times. So that was kind of weird, but they're going through a lot of stuff. Maybe someone, they clicked the wrong button. Except, it wasn't an isolated incident. Not long before that, freelance writers did a story for Vice about how the Saudi state is helping families to harass and threaten transgender Saudis based overseas. And there, despite getting a good reception from the outlet's editors, they say it was repeatedly postponed and then canceled, with multiple sources telling The Guardian that both stories were pulled because senior Vice management feared for the safety of its staff in Saudi Arabia. But, very key thing, others instead pointed to a partnership deal that it struck back in January with the MBC Group, a Saudi state-owned media company, to establish a joint venture in the kingdom. And with that, saying that as Vice has struggled to make money in recent years, it has accepted Saudi blood money and adjusted its coverage of the country as a consequence. And the outlet's relationship with the monarchy reportedly began back in 2017, with MBS's younger brother setting up a meeting between Vice's co-founder Shane Smith and the Crown Prince. And by 2018, Vice had received millions of dollars through the Saudi Research and Media Group to produce promotional videos for the kingdom. But then, when MBS chopped up Jamal Kashoggi that same year, Vice paused all work in the kingdom. Though that apparently didn't last that long, because by the time the pandemic began, Vice was helping to organize a Saudi music festival subsidized by the Saudi government. And if you didn't know about that, it's not your fault, because for some reason it was so surprising the outlet's name was absent from the publicity materials. And this, as contractors working on the event were reportedly presented with non-disclosure agreements. Then, further showing the change in the relationship, in 2021, Vice opened an office in the Saudi capital of Riyadh, where it was once banned from filming in 2018. And last year, Vice's former president of news acknowledged to staff in a conference call that the Saudi regime, quote, had committed atrocities and done all sorts of terrible things, but then added, "We have opened an office, we're staying there, we're committed to our presence in the region. If that's a step too far for you as a human being on a personal level, then okay, go with God. No one is forcing you to work here." With all of that bringing us to this year's partnership deal and the stories getting shelved. Also, in response to those stories getting shelved, the Vice Union put out a statement last month saying, "We are horrified, but not shocked," adding, "We know the company is financially bankrupt, but it shouldn't be morally bankrupt too." Yet, after the outlet's bankruptcy back in May and its acquisition by new investors in July, it only appears to be expanding its presence in Saudi Arabia with numerous job listings for its Riyadh office. And all of this is part of a reported larger strategy shift away from news and toward lifestyle and entertainment content.